guys? It's Tyler and Haley with Tell All with the Thompsons. We're here today on episode 7 to go over what exactly are we talking about here?
Today, we are going to talk about lack of support from friends and family.
Ooh, there's a lot of that.
There's a lot to unpack here.
It's unfortunate, but it is a relatable topic. A lot of people do experience lack of support from friends and family. Bleh.
Very true. So let's get into it.
Yeah.
What do you think our first experience was when we realized that? No, you don't like the sound of that?
I'm just like, I don't know what she's asking me.
Okay, I'm gonna ask a question. Okay, scratch that. Um, when did you realize that you did not have the proper support you thought from friends and family when we started our business?
Starstruck. Cameras are my face. I don't know how to answer questions right now.
Are you serious? No, be honest. Like, when did you feel like you were really excited about something and you didn't get the support that you thought that you deserved when we started?
I'd say right from the beginning.
I
Um,
think that too. That's what I was going to say.
yeah, I mean, right whenever we started to branch out and do something different, I'd say once they realized that they're not going down the route that I wanted them to go down,
True.
or the route that I think you should go down. Um,
Well, I think people get very offended when you don't do what they think you should do,
right, of course.
and they take offense to that. So then when they see you doing something that you're passionate about and they don't really understand it, they're like, wait a minute. Because I remember when we first started, everyone would say, oh, that's just a niche, or that's not going to be successful, or there's no market for it. Who's going to buy painted furniture, have you paint their cabinets? Like, it's just a trend. It's going to die down. We always heard that. Oh, it'll be over in a year. You won't even be doing it.
Yeah.
So when we did start and we started posting about it all the time, it was kind of like the people that I expected to be our biggest cheerleaders were silent, ghost. They were nowhere to be found.
Yeah, people started acting funny. People started acting weird. Friends and like really like the friends started acting kind of funny. You start losing a lot of friends,
Oh,
whenever you start to build traction with, what you're wanting to do all the time, and all of your time and effort is put forth towards something else other than
hanging out with them.
building a friendship or doing what you used to do, hanging out on the couch with them.
Exactly. Well, people I think don't, if you're not in the business mindset or you're not growing something or doing something, that you're passionate about, they don't understand that. And speaking of losing friends, I lost a lot of friends when we first started because we were going down different paths that they didn't understand. And that's not just starting a business, that's relatable for marriage and life in general. If you're doing something different from them, they have a hard time understanding that.
Yeah.
So, what can you relate to at that point? You're having pointless conversations that are kind of dead ends because it's like, well, she's doing this, I'm doing that. She doesn't understand why I can't hang out anymore.
Hey, what I think is cool though is when we all start having kids. And
I
then it
think
then it becomes a little bit more relatable, like, hey, your kid is kind of doing the same thing my kid, or you see him out, playing basketball, and they're there, and
exactly.
your kid's on the same team. That's whenever it gets more interesting, and then you can create
Your
that bond
circle
again,
changes
right? Yeah,
as you get older, your circle changes. And I feel like our circle definitely changed once we had kids. Um, Not singling people out. I'm just saying back when we started, we had a lot of friends. I felt like,
yeah,
that always wanted to hang out. Our house was the spot to, drink and do this and come over before kids and all of that. And then it was kind of like when we started building a successful marriage, a happy marriage, a life, a beautiful life with kids, and the perspective changed. And they were like, we never heard from them. Or they would judge us and be like, why are you having like all of these kids? Like,
yeah.
what are you doing?
Meanwhile, I'm over here just thinking that I guess I'm just growing up, getting old, and I guess this is just how it's meant to be.
Yeah, now we go to Halloween parties with all of our kids
Yeah.
and bake cookies with our friends, and I think that's fun. I love
Well,
this time.
I've came to realization though that it's now our kids' time. Now we get to
Exactly.
be.
It's not about us right now.
Yeah.
Our spotlight is off. It's on the kids. So
Done, dusted, gone. Times of me riding's over. Now it's
it's
kids
time for them to ride.
kids get to ride. Kids get to do what they want to do, not
Our weekends are
what we can do.
dedicated to the kids,
Everything's
okay?
much different.
Girls' nights, you've got to come over when the kids are asleep.
Now I've got to worry about the kids' friend circles. I tell you what,
Yes,
that's
exactly.
almost scarier thinking about my kids' friends now.
Or that when we know their parents and we're
Yeah,
like, oh my goodness, like we
just
used to do some crazy things
yeah.
with your mom and dad, and
Uh,
now we're all responsible adults.
Now, like, what are they going to get into? It's just like, it's not so much to think about.
Exactly. So back to what I was saying with, lack of support. Now in the present, I think it's a constant struggle that we talk about almost weekly because now with social media, the way it's set up, you can see who views your stuff. You can see who likes other people's stuff, doesn't like yours, comments on other people's stuff, doesn't comment on yours. Everything is so accessible that you can see it all.
People watchers,
Yeah, it's kind of,
eyeballs.
yeah,
I see you. That type of shit.
exactly. I mean, you're watching my story every time I post something, business, personal, I see the same people that like that see the story.
Take the fucking
Don't
gloves off and tell them then.
don't like it.
Tell them about
Don't say anything,
it. Mm-hmm.
especially when it's something really big and exciting. When we launched this podcast, for instance, there were so many views and then I go back, crickets. There's those people are silent. Same people always watching. They don't say congratulations, I'm happy for you. None of that.
Yeah.
And I think it's offensive. Do you think it's offensive?
I take offense to nobody and nothing.
So you don't think it's weird?
Thick skin.
I definitely think it's weird. I think if you are on someone's social media and you have access to
And
their
I
life,
think you're weird. Straight up.
of
You're
course you would say
weird.
that. No, I just see things differently. And I'm glad that you have a different perspective on it because I know that there's a lot of people that relate to what I'm saying because I hear about it all the time from all kinds of different people. It's just kind of annoying. If you follow me on social
You
media,
are annoying. I'm just messing with you at this point. Keep going. Keep going. This is tell all. I'm just fucking around.
exactly. So if you follow someone on social media, I think that there should be kind of like a secret thing where you support them. And if you don't support them, then delete them off of your social media. There's no reason for you to be on my stuff if you're just constantly watching and not interacting. Or I see you out in public and then you ask all of these questions, or you act like you haven't seen what's going on, but I know you watch my stuff. That's another big pet peeve of mine. Like,
Well, because you're a big supporter, though. That's the thing that you're not talking about. And that's why you have this
well, I
perspective
support
because you're just some big supporter out here, liking, sharing,
Well,
comment.
I try to treat everyone how I would like to be treated.
Hey, amen.
Okay.
Amen.
We teach our kids that. You learn that at a very young age,
Let's go.
and I just support people because I genuinely like what they're doing. I think what they're doing is cool. And I buy a lot of, their products. I use them on the daily. Like if I like it and I enjoy it, I'm going to share you. I'm going to boost you up.
Because you're freaking cool, dude. Like, look at you. You're
I
cool.
mean, my best friend's a photographer and I've supported her from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my friends own boutiques. I'm going to wear their clothes.
Real
I'm
talk.
I'm going to post them on my story and shout them out and tag them. If you own a business and you're in my circle, I'm going to support you. But even if you're a stranger, I'm still going to support you if you're on my social media and you're doing the same for me. Right?
Hey, they have a soft spot in my heart. those people out there that
Exactly, that
never
we
even
don't know
met.
from Adam,
Yeah.
that just see us on social media and they're like, "Damn, they're doing the damn
My
thing."
boy Henry, Paint, Oklahoma. Where the hell did you come from? You're
Exa
one of my biggest supporters.
exactly.
Let's go.
I mean, we have people that not aren't even local that will share our stuff or recommend us up in Indianapolis, Illinois, Ohio, Michigan. They're sharing our stuff. We've never met them and they think what we're doing is badass. But then I also have to come to terms with that not every single person is going to think the way I do. I was just simply saying, if you support me, cool. If you don't, take me off your, like, get off my social media. I just think it's weird and I see a lot of it and it just really gets on my nerves. That's like my biggest pet peeve. But another thing that also is my big pet peeve is family, not just friends. Family that you would think would be your biggest cheerleader and support you, ride or die, like just hype you up. And you don't hear anything from them either. And I really don't understand that. And because I feel like when my kids grow up and if they want to do something, I don't care if it's sell lemonade in our driveway. I'm going to be like, that's the best damn lemonade I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm going to set you up for success. Not even giving them anything like money or a startup or whatever. I'm just simply saying, giving them the encouragement to continue or let them know that what they're doing is really badass. I think that's
To set goals and to reach whatever goal that you.
exactly. I think that's important. And I think we lack that and we don't talk about that a lot. We have built our business off of word of mouth from our clientele, the circle of friends and family that do support us because I mean, they need a shout out too. Like we do have a lot. I'm not saying we don't, but what I would expect and what we receive is two completely different things. And that needs talked about more because we didn't have someone to just hand us a business or take it over. You
Or to help us along the way, move us here, move us there, give us this, give us that. None of that.
exactly. We've moved our shop by ourselves
Right.
each time, no help. And then they see us afterwards and they're like, oh, look at this place. Like, that's nice.
Completely.
How much is the rent?
Yeah.
Like, just stupid. It's
Always
never
asking the dumbest questions.
exactly. And that's what I'm talking about. It's like, what we're doing, you see what we're doing. And instead of hyping us up, you're asking questions that really have I mean, it has nothing to do with you. And you really shouldn't have interest in the topic at all. But it's like, hey, how much was that? Or what tool is this? Or, just
You got a fire extinguisher in here? I'm just wondering if they're going to pay the bills.
I know at that point, I'm like, if you're going to ask all these questions and you don't even
Pay the bill, Bobby Joe. Quit beating around the bush. You know what I'm saying?
ex-
So I want to just pop
exactly,
off these.
exactly. But then if you do say something about it and you're like, hey, this really bothers me that, you're not showing up the way I think you should, then they take offense to that and somehow turn it around on you
Mhm.
also. And it's like, wait, did you just make me feel like I'm in the wrong for you not being supportive or not
Call
being
it
there?
gaslighting or something.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
it is. And we
Yeah.
deal with that a lot and we don't talk about it. No one sees that side of it,
No bueno.
except for people will always say by post, because, everyone always looks at social media, as I was saying, and they can kind of see where there might be frustration, in laws or stuff like that. And they kind of put two and two together, but we've never really touched on it that, they in laws can suck, friends and family can suck. So, yeah,
In laws suck. I don't know, man.
in laws are definitely a struggle when you get married. You're blending families,
You either love them or you just want to leave them.
you're blending personalities and you see things one way, they see things one way, and it's like, how do we navigate this? And then you throw kids in the mix, and that's when it gets really dicey because
Oh, yeah.
then it's they treat one kid one way and they treat another kid the next way and no one's treated fairly and then you get frustrated and man, now we've just opened up a whole can of worms on that topic.
What a handful.
But yeah, I think that's something I definitely struggle with. And I think other people do too, because when I talk about it with other people, they're like, wow, yeah, I deal with the same thing. And is that just where we've come as a society? We see people's lives one way, we perceive them on the internet, and we think, oh, I don't want to support them because they already have 10,000 followers on Facebook. What does it matter if I like or share their stuff? Or, oh, they're already booked 6 months out. I don't need to recommend them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I think we kind of just see things in a different perspective now with social media
For
because
sure.
it's so accessible, it's at our fingertips, but no one really knows how to navigate it if you think about it.
Nobody knows how to navigate
No,
it.
like navigate the separating themselves from the image of social media. Do you get what I'm trying to say here? Like
No clue what you're trying to say.
when when you're looking at social media, it's like that's what they perceive your life to be. Whatever you post, that's they don't look at it as, oh, well, what happened behind closed doors? And they're just posting this big white picket fence house and everything looks great and it's beautiful and it's perfect.
Nobody knows.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But people look, they see what the image that you've created on social media and they just run with that.
Yeah. True.
Right.
Yeah. 100%.
So that's where I was getting at. It's just social media can be utilized as a really great tool that we use daily. I mean, for the business but it's also, there's an ugly side to it because you can see who doesn't support you. You can see their life compared to yours. And then you're comparing constantly
Yeah.
your life to other people. And it can get frustrating. And then you're like, mine.
Instead of just being locked in on your own life and your own goals.
Exactly. And then you lose focus
Yeah.
and you
You can.
lose sight
Yeah, you
of
can.
what you're trying to accomplish because you're worried about what Sally's posting or what Sally's doing. And
Love you, Sally.
yeah, we're not talking about you, Sally. But no, I think that's a real problem. And I always say like, oh, I wish I just couldn't like I could find a way to market our business or run our business without social media. I wonder what life would be like.
That'd be sweet. Just only having to answer the phone or talk to Billy Joe and Sally Sue instead of
Face to face, that face to face interaction. And we were actually talking about this the other day on the drive home, how, we do virtual quotes
right. And
and
how
people.
much differently it is compared to going and meeting the client,
Exactly.
seeing them
It's a
face in
different
person.
it's a different interaction when you're doing everything over the phone and you
There's
can't
no
really
personal
read.
relationship
There's
built.
yeah, there's no personal relationship until we're face to face and then we're like, "Oh my gosh, that was the best client we've ever dealt with," or things can get really rocky when you're trying to interpret what they're saying in the message, their tone, y- stuff like that, and I'm like, are they upset? You just don't know. So
Right.
I struggle with that too. And that's what I was saying about social media is you just don't know what point they're trying to get across. Are they upset? Are they not?
Yeah, it makes it so much easier when you're in person, having that conversation, and you can really figure out what you're getting yourself into and exactly what the expectations are.
And who they are as people.
Right.
And that's again the perception of social media. I could have a completely different image or who you think I am by what I post, but then you meet me in person and you're like, "Oh my gosh, like she's completely different than I thought she would be." Or I mean, I've dealt with that all the time where I thought someone had a certain personality and then I got to know them and I'm like, "That's completely different than the way they are on social media."
Yeah.
So social media can be used as a really good tool, but it's also a pain in the ass.
It can be.
And I struggle with that because you don't want to be that person that's like texting your friends though, like, "Hey, why didn't you like my post?" Like that's so petty, but it's like, "Hey, why didn't you like my post?" Right?
I mean, I guess that's a female way to look at it.
Yeah, that's the female perspective. I know people are going to listen to this and be like,
Yeah.
"Exactly."
This is Haley's podcast, okay? It's Tell All with the Thompsons. I just happen to be sitting here in the office. The shop's in the back. Still Haley's podcast.
Get back to the shop, Tyler. Actually, I'll just take over season 2. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
This can be for the girls, the unhinged moms. We can bring them on.
Yes, you are an unhinged mom, and she is a part of a group called the Unhinged Moms.
And they are all very supportive. Love those girls. But
At first, I didn't really get it, but I totally get it. It makes perfect sense.
it
It's
all works.
unhinged. I started thinking about like a cabinet door that's unhinged, or an interior door, exterior door that's unhinged.
See, that's your
That's no good.
See, that's your mindset, and then mine's like something completely different, and that's why it works. That's why this is so funny, and it just makes perfect sense.
It's working.
Yeah.
It's working.
So, yeah, just I don't know. I think it's a jealousy issue with social media. There's just comparison, jealousy, insecurity, and it's a real problem. But I hope that the people that are listening to this, because if they're watching, they're listening, because they're always watching, and they're going to listen to this and they're going to say, "Oh, she caught me. She's talking about me." And then they're going to start, interacting. And it
done did it, y'all. She said it.
Or I'm going to see my friends list dwindle down. And I'm going to be like, wow, okay, so you listened. You took my advice. Let's talk about free advice now that I said that.
Give it to them. Give it to them raw.
How frustrating is it to constantly have people that ask for free advice or a free service, especially family? Let's say family, for instance. How many times have we been asked, well, Tyler knows how to paint trim. Can't Tyler just bring the sprayer over and load it up and paint my front door? Or can he paint this dresser for me?
It's just expected, and it's expected to be done.
And perfect.
For nothing.
And perfect.
For absolutely nothing.
Exactly. That's what I was saying.
Not even a thank you.
Not even a dinner.
Maybe a breakfast. Maybe.
But I mean, think about that. How many times have we been asked, or we've been in a social setting and we're just trying to unwind, chill, and they start asking us for marketing advice?
Again, the dumb questions start coming out.
Are you busy? Yeah. You been busy?
Yeah. That's always the number one question.
And I'm like, is that offensive? No, but it comes off that way because it's like, I'm out here.
I see you watching though. I've been busy.
Monday through Friday, we're showing behind the scenes.
My hands show I've been busy.
Tyler's hands still have paint on them from last week. Listen, he's been scrubbing and scrubbing. So yeah, we've been busy.
I'm insecure about hands.
It's like we have 4 kids, a business, and just the daily life of all of that. But no, we're not busy actually.
But then the end of the conversation always ends, boy, you got your hands full.
I just wanted to pop off immediately. Like,
yeah,
0 to 100.
Of course.
Because it's like, I would never do that to someone.
Who does something like that?
Exactly. They had the entitlement of, well, who cares what they want? Or if this is their first child, we want to be up there too. Because we need our pictures, or we need our post on Facebook. You were already pinched at that point. I don't know what to tell you. Go seek therapy and talk about it, because that's a you problem. It has nothing to do with me.